Hey. Wagwan, what y'all deal with? Hey man, the weather is finally starting to cool down, so we starting to get into some real fall vibes. You know, this is my favorite time of the year because I was born in fall. Anyway, I wanted to talk about one of the big things everybody's talking about this week, which is Judge Mathis and his wife of 39 years getting a divorce this year. I'm not gonna lie to you, anytime that a black couple that's been together for that long is getting divorced, I definitely feel sad about it. I don't know about y'all. I know that y'all have a whole lot of judgments of the judge, but I feel definitely sad about it because if you've been together 39 years, that means anything that you could possibly be facing, you done faced some part of it, some form of it, and you done got through it. I know people are saying she was probably miserable the whole time and everything. I'm not necessarily saying that there isn't a reason why they're getting a divorce. Obviously there is, but I do think that it is sad to see somebody break up after all of that time. It's a long time to have shared together and to be feeling like you'll be together forever for that to end so suddenly. But I got a couple of videos for us to watch today because there are a lot of allegations out right now. A lot of people are saying that they suspect that he was cheating, and there's a lot of people also saying that, you know, they think he has an outside child.
Say what? Not the judge.
Let's take a look at this.
Linda had everybody stunned when she filed for divorce from Judge Mathis after 39 years together. And we were all trying to figure out what on earth happened to make her dump Mathis like she did. Well, it looks like Linda is willing to take it all the way there with Judge Mathis, because word on the streets is that Linda is walking away with everything in the divorce and taking him to the cleaners. Y'all better sit down for this because Miss Linda is out for her own justice on Judge Mathis. Judge Mathis and Linda have been holding it down since 1985 with 4 grown kids to prove it, so they have definitely been in the love game for a while. They were practically the poster couple for black love, always hyping each other up on social media and looking like the ultimate relationship goals. So if there were any issues, you'd think that we would have caught wind of it by now, or so we thought. Judge Mathis was posting cute pics of himself and Linda and their granddaughter Nora, so it was kind of shocking when this news hit that they were splitting up. Linda said July 17, 2024 as their separation date, and according to People magazine, she's citing irreconcilable differences. People magazine reported that Linda is asking for spousal support since she was mostly a stay-at-home mom while Judge Mathis was out building his TV career. It looks like the divorce won't get too messy. Everything between them seems pretty smooth with no major drama brewing. So how did things fall apart so quickly? The sudden change has everybody very confused, and that's where the conspiracy theories start running wild. An insider just dropped a bombshell though, that Judge Mathis might have had a secret baby on Linda. As crazy as it sounds, y'all, it's not entirely shocking. For starters, Judge Mathis is a handsome guy who was on TV. Just think about how many men in show business get up to no good when they're famous. The insider went ahead to claim that not only did Judge Mathis allegedly cheat on Linda, but he allegedly cheated on her multiple times. Allegedly, Linda was blindsided by the news of his affairs because for 39 years, she thought that Mathis was remaining loyal to her and only her. But if that's not messy enough, the streets are now saying that Mathis allegedly fathered a child outside the marriage. And that was the last straw for Linda. And that might just be why Linda decided to leave now. She didn't want to deal with raising an outside baby in her marriage, especially since she was blindsided by it. All allegedly. Y'all know the fans have been all over it. I know Judge Mathis ain't 64 years old with a side baby and wasted 39 years of marriage. Judge Mathis getting a divorce after like 40 years? Boy, that spousal support going to cripple him. Why are people saying that Judge Mathis' wife is silly for filing for divorce after 39 years of marriage? She is self-aware and knows what is a deal breaker for her. Just because y'all are okay with y'all's husbands cheating and having outside kids doesn't mean she has to be. Judge Mathis getting a divorce after 39 years is crazy. Sis had to be fed the F up. And Judge Mathis' wife filing for a divorce after 39 years of marriage is crazy work. 39 years? You could just sleep in the basement.
Now, at this point, all of the speculations are simply speculations, and they're based upon a tweet that Judge Mathis made at one point in the midst of this divorce in saying, when you're gone so much, it's easy for suspicions to arise. Meaning that if you're gone a lot, it's easy for things to develop in your wife's head. And I'm not gonna lie to you, as a woman, we do that. I do it also. If something is not feeling right, or I may have suspicions about something, because I'm an overthinker, and we all know about that, I sometimes can sit and say, you know what I think it is? I think it's this. Sometimes I'll go back later and even say, that makes no logical sense at all. But because we're emotional people, it is easy for us to begin to suspect stuff, even if the only reason for suspecting it is just that he's not there.
Neglect creates suspicion.
I think for it to go from him not being there to all the way through to he has an outside baby with absolutely no proof of this is just a show of how social media can take one thing and twist it completely and totally into another. One of the things that I do think is it's easy to judge a relationship from the outside. I know that there is a whole lot of pictures and videos of just how wonderful everything is in a marriage, but you really cannot know what's going on the day-to-day of somebody's marriage. And that's why it can seem like, wow, divorce?
What the fuck?
This is out of the blue sky. And in a lot of cases, that's what it seems like, because people, of course, are not going to put their worst in the videos or on Instagram. I think that when you don't know the worst of what goes on in somebody's relationship, it's easy to say, I think that they have the perfect relationship. I mean, look at Will and Jada, I'm just saying. But I definitely think that from what Judge Mathis and his wife showed, we would probably not have known that a divorce was coming. And that's why it's easy to look at something from the outside and really think that it is gonna be perfect, because that's what we see in the pictures. That's what filters are for. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is the fact that Judge Mathis was seen making a statement about his divorce.
Hey, Judge Mathis, how are you?
Not good, rather. It's the worst days of my life. How about that?
I wanted to ask you, with news of the separation, how are you holding up?
Not holding up very well, I would say, to other men. Maybe I'll be an example for other men. Cautionary tale. Don't neglect your wife. See how me at the airport now, flying out, as I have for 25 years. My wife has been third in the community, taping my show, having fun with friends. That's what happens, guys. Never be too busy or never have too much fun beyond your wife.
Has this been coming for some time now, or was it something out the blue?
Well, ever since we started taping here in LA, I committed to staying home more and making my wife more of a priority. But as you see, I haven't. I'm still here on the road, doing the same thing. And in terms of going out into another city. But I was gone for 3 weeks. That's what July 17th meant.
Would you say you two are in a good place?
Oh yeah, we're still in the same house and we're maintaining a friendship. And I'm trying to get my wife back. I have to show her that. But hopefully I can show her while we're there together. And hopefully she doesn't complete the process. I just wanted to eliminate all them rumors too, that it's something about a baby or even me molesting a child. It's none of that. I've just told you what it is. I'm gonna get my wife back. How about that?
This statement has sparked a great deal of debates, because he is saying that he wants to fight for his marriage, that he understands the things that he's done wrong, and he really wants to see if he can fight for his marriage as much as he possibly can before this divorce is over. A lot of women are saying,
It's over now.
it's too late, baby. It's way too late. You cannot come in now and try to think that she's gonna take you back. You tripping. What will make you think that after all of this time you can fight for your marriage if you haven't fallen for it up until now? A great deal of other people are also saying, though, that if you do realize your shortcomings and you do realize them, it would not be honorable if you did not fight. There's different ideas on this. Me personally, I feel like if at any point that you realize what you may have done wrong or what your shortcomings may have been, actually try to push for it, to actually try to say, I do understand now, whether it's after 1 year, 15 years, 50 years. Now, whether it ends up working or whether it actually ends up yielding results, that's for life to determine. But I think that at this point, I think he feels like, now that I do understand, I don't want to just let go of what we've been building for 39 years. Yo, that's a long time. That's a long time. A lot of couples do not make it that long. A lot of marriages do not make it that long, to children and grandchildren. Maybe he's feeling like we have too much to just let it go. Maybe he's feeling like he's willing to make the changes that she's been asking for. I know that sometimes, women will initiate a divorce just to say, I haven't been able to get your attention. I've been asking for this and you haven't been paying attention. Well, I'm going to get a divorce and I bet you pay attention now. She's definitely got his attention. And I think that, what kind of man would he be if he didn't fight? Now whether that fight yields any results, we don't know. But I think that to tell him not to fight is really one of those things where we're looking at a society where people do not fight for relationships. You can look at the reasons that people are leaving relationships and they're becoming more and more and more shallow. I feel like there is a lot to be said for being able to get through certain things in a relationship. You know, we hear a lot about what are the things that you should leave a relationship for. And you should have the list of things that you should make sure that never gets crossed as far as boundaries. You should make sure that there's certain things that if you are saying, I am not willing to do this, that is the thing that you stick to. But I think one thing that we don't talk about, sometimes the emotional moments that we have that we could possibly be able to get through that we don't, because we're taught in society, make sure that they don't do none of the stuff that you don't want them to do. And now the list of things that you don't want them to do is growing. And the things become more and more frivolous. Come on, let's tell the truth. The truth of the matter is that everybody's so scared of being miserable in a relationship that they make themselves miserable. But by finding all of the small reasons that could be worked out, people are finding more and more frivolous reasons to leave. And I think that that's something we have to look at too. We have to look at these things because these are the reasons why relationships are becoming shorter. The marriage rate is becoming smaller. And a lot of long-term commitments are not lasting anymore because of the fact that we are not looking at the things that instead of leaving for, we could actually work through and that we could actually put effort into, because these things take work. And that work is not always cute, pretty, it's not always easy, it's not always agreeable, it's not always any of these things. We're surpassing a lot of things that could be worked on in order for the relationship to continue, and we're looking at it as, I just don't feel like dealing with it. Let's be honest. A lot of reasons that people are leaving relationships are stuff that you could turn around and fix. I'm on social media a lot, unfortunately, and I'm in a lot of marriage and relationship groups. I see a lot of people talking about, I left my ex-husband for this. To be honest with you, it wasn't really that important. Or they'll have a conversation with somebody and somebody will say, you left him because of this? So tell me about this man. Was he a bad man? Or tell me about this woman. Were they a bad person? Well, no, to be honest with you, they made me mad. They took the soap out the dish. That's why there's high numbers of people just saying, okay, well, I'm just going to be single. Nothing wrong with it if that's truly your wish. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't really believe that for a lot of people, they really wish to be single. Damn! Yeah, I went there. I think for a lot of people who are saying they want to be single, what they're saying is, I am comfortable in not having to put in work in a relationship. I'm comfortable because I've went through so much pain in the past that now I don't believe that I can be in another type of relationship. And I'm not going to put in the work on myself so that I can be in a place to attract a better type of relationship. There are some people who genuinely like being alone. And that's fine. But I also think that is not all of the numbers of people who are saying it. I think some people are genuinely lonely. And there's nothing wrong with feeling like you want or need another person. We were created to. We were created to be in relationship, in partnership, in friendship, and in familyship with people. And because of that, I think that what it's doing to society, it's making us feel like, why is Judge Mathis fighting for his marriage? Why would he want to fight to be with a woman that he wasn't doing everything right with? Because that being alone can be a bitch. After a while, after you've got through the glamour of it, after you've got through, I can do whatever I want to. This is great. I can sit in the house with no clothes on and just chill. I don't have to answer to nobody. I can do bad all by myself. After that, after the fun wears off and you sitting in there by yourself, it can be a bitch. You know, so I think that when you're looking at something like this, it's one of those things where you're talking about a couple that has surpassed everybody's doubts. If there were people who doubted them, you're talking about a couple that has surpassed even their own fears and everything up until this point. And I think that to just let it go is something that he cannot do.
I'm gonna get my wife back. How about that?
And I actually admire the fact that he's saying that, you know, he's saying that this is the worst thing that could happen to me as it relates to this divorce. And I think that if it is that it's not going to do anything, or she still says, you know what I'm saying, hit the bricks, that could always possibly happen. But at the end of the day, I do think that it is worth it for him to fight, because Judge Mathis spoke about priorities in relationships. And I think that's something that we all can really learn from. In having a career or in having something that you put all your time and energy into, it's easy to forget about in the midst of all of the stuff. In his case, all of the different shows and all of the different traveling that he was doing and everything like that, to forget about the things that your partner might need in the relationship.
I forgot to be a lover.
And check this out. And the things that you may need from your partner. You could be walking around with a big empty hole in the middle of your chest because really you know that you really just want to be with them. You may not even know that you needed that.
But silly me.
You may not even know that you needed to have them next to you. But you could be walking around not knowing that you're not giving that person what they need, and you're not getting what you need from them, in the midst of the drive of trying to make sure that your career takes off or that your career stays strong. You know, there's a lot of things that get lost in the midst of the hustle. And you don't have to be a judge for that to be a case. You could work at Walmart, but it's one of those things where it's easy to get lost in the children even. It's easy to get lost in all of those things. And it's why in order to have a marriage, you have to have a balance with all of these things. You have to have a balance in what you're doing. You have to have a balance in making sure everything is right with the children. But you do have to make that time in order to feed your marriage, because that's the basis of everything. Even the children will not be able to have what they need if that marriage is not solid. They can have their essentials taken care of. They can have, food, shelter, education. But what they truly need as far as their parents being together and being able to have that solid foundation in the household, they won't be able to have if the marriage is not fed. I do think that there's a lot to be said as it relates to priorities, and I think that what he was showing us by making that statement is that he's seen that. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, everybody. And I know that we're also waiting to see what's going to happen with this divorce. Everybody has a lot of opinions. And if you got your whole mouth full that you got to say, baby, go ahead and drop into my comments. I'm going to put the information for my social media right here, like I always do. So y'all can go ahead onto my page, drop some comments and likes if you want to. Also check out some of the other stuff that I post on the page as well. Also, I'm going to put the information for my YouTube channel right here as well. And I hope that you'll go on there and hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button while you at it, because it's right next to it. And I actually have a My New Voice playlist so that you can see all the videos together. Go ahead and scroll down, make a day of it, and watch all of the videos. Hit me with some likes, hit me with some love. You already know the deal. I ain't got to tell you again. But in the meantime, in between time, peace.